Thinking about adopting a new Goldendoodle? You might be wondering how much a Goldendoodle costs. Well, in this video, I'm gonna go over exactly how much a Goldendoodle will cost you, so stay tuned. For the best dog training and product advice, be sure to hit subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I post a new video every Wednesday. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Lisa. I've dog sat and trained hundreds and hundreds of dogs and puppies, and I love sharing my advice with all of you. All right, so the cost of a Goldendoodle really will vary depending on where you get your Goldendoodle and what type of Goldendoodle you get. A Goldendoodle from a reputable breeder can cost all the way from $900 to even $4,000 or more. This all depends on the reputation of the breeder and the quality of the breeder, how much socialization they're doing prior to the puppy going home, and of course, whether they're doing some pre-potty training work with your puppy. That's why there's such a big price difference from breeder to breeder, even for the same type of Goldendoodle. It's important to keep in mind that there are different types of Goldendoodles as well, and different types will either cost more or less. An F1 generation Goldendoodle is bred from a standard Poodle with a Golden Retriever dog. This is actually the most expensive type of Goldendoodle you can get. Then there's what's called an F1B Goldendoodle. This one comes from a first generation Goldendoodle, which is what I just said, the standard Poodle and the Golden Retriever, and it is bred with another Poodle. So it comes out to 75% Poodle and 25% Golden Retriever. This one is best for those who have allergies, as the Poodle side is more hypoallergenic than the Golden Retriever side. Then there's what's called an F2 Goldendoodle, which is the lowest costing Goldendoodle. The F2 generation can either come from two first generation Goldendoodles or an F1 and an F1B Goldendoodle. This is actually the lowest costing Goldendoodle that you can get. Now, I'd also like to take a break from the breeder route and mention that there's a really awesome rescue called Bunny's Buddies, and they will rescue pretty much any breed that you want. And there are a lot of purebred breeds that they can get. Basically, they find dogs in China, where a lot of these designer breeds are really popular. And unfortunately, when people realize that they're too much to handle or the training is too much, they will sell their dog to the dog meat industry. And so Bunny's Buddies will save the dogs from this industry and ship them to the US for you to rescue. So I really encourage you to at least check them out before you go the breeder route. Now, Bunny's Buddies is still gonna cost you around $1,200 because you are paying for the flight cost, and they don't necessarily make you pay for all the vet bills, but it covers part of the vet bill. So just keep in mind that it isn't necessarily going to be super cheap, but you're saving a life, which is super rewarding, and it is still cheaper than those really expensive Goldendoodles that you're gonna get for $5,000. All right, but if you're set on getting a 10-week Goldendoodle, it's important that you do your research on the breeder. Not all breeders are created equal, and I encourage you to definitely stay away from those Craigslist backyard breeders. A lot of times they will be breeding the puppies in not necessarily the best conditions, and parvo is definitely something you'll need to worry about when it comes to backyard breeders. Although they can be cheaper initially, parvo can cost about $30,000 to treat, so just keep that in mind before you even think of going that route. Okay, so now we've established that getting a Goldendoodle can cost you anywhere from $950 to $4,000 and up. But it's important to keep in mind that this isn't going to be your only expense. In fact, getting the dog is just a very small percentage of what the dog will cost over its lifetime. Number one is dog food. At first glance, you might think that you can buy a big bag from Costco for $40 and you basically only have to buy one a month. But when looking deeper, you're gonna realize that a lot of Costco dog food or just general kibble isn't very nutritious for your dog. And once you find this out, you're going to want to feed them a better food, which will cost a lot more. For my dog, Ziggy and Waffles, I spend about $300 or $400 a month on food, and they're both about 20-25 pounds. So if you're getting a bigger dog, you can imagine how much you're gonna spend on food if you want to buy a good quality food. Another thing to keep in mind is your initial vet visits and shots. This will be different depending on which vet you go to. Here in Denver, it costs about $65 just to see the vet, and it can go up from there when you add additional things like your shots, spaying, neutering, all of that. The next thing you want to keep in mind is you're probably going to want to enroll in some sort of puppy class or basic obedience training. This is one that a lot of people skip, but puppy socialization is super important, and puppy class is going to help you get off on the right foot. So I encourage you, if you're not going to do a ton of research online, to go to a puppy socialization class. Puppy socialization classes generally range from $150 to $200, but once again, that'll depend where you are, your region, and what those businesses offer. Next, if you work a full-time job, you're going to have to invest in a dog walker. Now, once again, I can't give you an exact price on how much this is gonna cost you. I know for me, when I was working full-time, I had a neighbor that would let out the dogs, give them a walk for $5, which is really, really cheap. But in general, if you're using a company like WAG or Rover, it'll cost you about $20 or $25 for a 30-minute walk. Next, there's also the initial shopping you're gonna do for basic teething toys, leash, harness, kennel, the list goes on, and you're gonna continue to wanna buy certain toys or certain treats as they continue to leave. So just keep in mind that you're gonna have to put aside some money every month to save up for these things. You'll also want to put some money aside every month for unexpected vet bills. I like to include this because I recently had to pay a pretty big vet bill, $600 for my dog Waffles to get her tooth extracted. She chipped her tooth, and luckily I had money put away, but for those people that might not know, they might not necessarily have money put away, and then they would have to wait and it would end up costing them more. In Waffles' case, it was good that I was able to do it right away because they were able to take it out before her tooth started decaying even further. All right, and that's it, but just keep in mind that this is not an exhaustive list. There are so many expenses. Like in Colorado, it gets cold, so I buy boots and jackets for my dogs. And if you live in Hawaii or California, you might not necessarily have those expenses, but you might have different expenses. So just keep that in mind that you're going to have to spend a lot of money on your dog. All right, so that's it for today, everyone. If you like this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up. Be sure to comment with the word helpful, and be sure to share with all of your dog-loving friends. And I'd love to hear, if you have a dog, how much do you spend on your dog approximately per year? I would love to hear. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.